A beautiful evening to you, everyone. Welcome to Road to Edo 2024. Yes, your definite source for in-depth discussion on the upcoming Edo State gubernatorial election. Now, in today's episode, we have the honor of hosting Osarati Igile. He's a prominent aspirant vying for the position of the Edo State governor. Now, he's going to be joining us, and we will be diving into his plans, aspirations, and what he have in stock for Edo Life. Now, Osarati Igile is an Edo man from Udo in Ovia Southwest local government area. He was born in Benin City, Edo State, already to be precise, to both parents with over 20 years experience as a professional visual artist. Osarati Igile created and exhibited a diverse body of artwork, including sculpture, paintings, drawings, demonstrating creativity, innovation, and the ability to connect with diverse audience. Now, his works have taken him to many African, Europe, and American countries. Osarati Igile was a candidate for the New York City Council, and of course, he has successfully run a grassroots campaign for the office of City Council in 2009, and he has a master's degree in fine arts, sculpture, studied painting, and new forms both in the United States. Bachelor of Arts, University of Benin. He is very creative in problem solving, calculative and creative in problem solving, if you ask me. A self-promoted artist, businessman, and expert in community development. He's an all-round businessman with interest here locally with international experience. He's a married man to his lovely, amiable wife and blessed with children. A gentleman here with us in the studio live in Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria, the headquarters of ITV and Radio. We have with us Osarati Igile, a governorship aspirant under the platform of the Labour Party. Welcome to the show and compliments of the season.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you now.
Yes.
We've been seeing you from afar. We've been seeing your works from afar. And we've heard a lot about you from afar. Even when you actually declared your intention, you weren't here.
Wow.
You did it in Prozi.
Yes.
Someone actually represented you at the Labour Party headquarters now in Edo State. Now, take us through. What is bringing you into politics?
And first of all, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Yes. As you know, I'm not a politician per se.
Okay.
We have entrenched politicians in the state who've actually run this country for as long as we remember. Remember the independence, and we're like 60-something years into nationhood. So we've not really made progress. So I have been on the outside for many years, and I just figure it would be nice to actually bring my wealth of experience, knowledge, so at least within the state we can have capacity. And then also we can build wealth. So this is why I'm currently interested, and I know I can make a difference.
Well, I think I have a worry now, and maybe most Edolites might share in that thought. You just said you're not a politician. You're not a conventional politician.
Yes.
Now, mind you, politics is capital intensive. It's a game of money and number.
Yes.
You are new in this terrain.
Yes.
You're just an artist who is doing well in your own field. Now, politics is another field that is not really compatible with your field. Now, two questions I'll be asking you, and I would like you to be honest with yourself. How do you tend to dig it out with these politicians who are grassroots politicians, though you've had your own share in politics around 2009 or thereabouts?
Yes.
But how do you plan to match with these guys who have the money? They have the people. They have the political strength and political will. Do you think you have the capacity to dig it out with them?
Yeah, my friend, you know, politics, democracy is all about the people. And the recently concluded election, the presidential election, you know how that went. I don't have to remind you that Obi won the election.
INEC declared the APC candidate and the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as the winner of the election.
Yes, we're not going to go back there, but my point is, our principal won the election. And how did he win the election? Because the people were behind him. So we're not, the politics of money bags shouldn't be the way we should be going in this part of the world, because we're a body nation. This is a 1960 And up to now, like I told you, we've not really made progress. So if we are looking at money back to run campaign, and the same people will be so alienated from the people, then we've not, I think, Edo State Labour Party is the party to beat in 2024. The people themselves, they've had enough. And they demonstrated that during Obi's campaign and Obi's election. So I don't think that money is going to, of course, you always need money. And I've had a good life. I lived outside of this country for many years. One of the things you have to understand is that I haven't been away from the country for so long, and I'm here again trying to do my bit, just because you don't have to be a governor to do your little bit. Definitely. But the fact remains that for me, as an individual, I've done so much within my community, and the people that are tasked with governance, they all seem to just be getting it all wrong. So we have a state where things do not work. My goal is to make things work. I've always modeled for people. I've always modeled for people in the state. When I mean, we'll get to all of that if you ask me, because the idea is we have to run our cities creatively. Because now you're looking, you can say, oh, we don't have tar to tar the roads. We have had engineers in this country, brilliant people. So you're going to pull them in, have the wherewithal to do work within. I mean, you can use materials locally. So it's only going to take some level of creativity to move us forward.
Do you think we need just creativity to take Edo forward?
Oh, I'll tell you. How do you say your name?
Daniel Praise Osedebame.
Daniel, I'll tell you this, Daniel. So do you think the issue of Nigeria is money? But I personally, I don't think the issue of Nigeria is money. Okay. Because if you look at the time all that money was all locked away, they say rat eats some, what was the other one? Snake ate some of it. So I think the people who've been in leadership in Nigeria lack the will to do the needful. So we've always had money. You look at the country before Dubai. Nigeria was before Dubai. And look at how those people have moved their economy and they've progressed over the years.
Let's look at more pressing issue now. The most issues, we have so many issues calling for attention in Edo State, especially. The 3 senatorial districts don't have good road networks. They don't have good road network, at least to travel from here to Ekpoma. Yes. In the past, you need 45 minutes, less than an hour to get to Ekpoma from Benin. Yes. But now you spend up to 2 hours or thereabout on the road. If it's raining, safe, you need to spend close to 4 hours on the road.
I was just in Uromi 3 days ago.
You were, okay, Uromi. So how was it for you?
It's a beautiful place, but traveling was a problem. Okay. Coming back, yes, exactly. So coming back, I was actually caught in traffic for like 2 hours or more coming back, because I was almost at the brink of entering Benin City. You had to spend extra 2 hours. Extra 2 hours. You talked about having engineers, sound people to help us have good life. Listen, David, how are you going to help Benin, those state people, have good road if you become the first #1 citizen of the state? First, you engage the people. I mean, all the stakeholders, you know how the wealth of people we have locally and abroad. So when you get the stakeholders together, they can do a whole lot more than all of these guys put together, what they've done over the years. You know, so I only alluded to the fact that money is not the issue. When you have enough money and you don't have the will or the know-how to do what you have to do, this is where we've been. We've had cases of those in power telling us this particular portion of the road belongs to the federal government. Exactly. These ones belong to the state government. Exactly. Will you be such governor? No. I mean, when I was growing up, we had Ministry of Works. So there are, I mean, critical works that have to be done through maintenance. Routine maintenance don't have to go or wait till federal government shows up. So the federal government, I understand the exclusive whatever list that they have and how this work have to be done. But I do believe that for the critical repairs that need to be done, just for the welfare of the people, for the common good of the people, we have to do it. Okay. Now, you have been away for about 2 decades now, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. About 2 decades you've been away. You've been in the U.S. Yes. Having good life. Now the question is, some people have the opinion that those in diaspora, by extension, even those outside of those states, you can be in Lagos, you can be in Kaduna. As far as they are concerned, out of touch. You are in diaspora. Yes. You shouldn't come into Edo politics because, #1, they feel you don't really know what is happening in the states. They also feel you don't really have the capacity
to really take care of politics when you get to office. The office might be hijacked by the people that have been the power that may be. So that is their fear. So they are saying, if you are in Lagos, if you are in diaspora, if you are outside the country, just stay where you are, leave politics. For those of us
for those who
that are here, that are born and bred and living here. So how are you going to work that out?
David, again. Daniel, I'm sorry. Yeah, Daniel, I want to say to you that the same entrenched politicians got us where we are now. So if you cannot keep doing the same thing, is that not the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. We need to try people like myself and others. I'm not a desperate politician, and I'm not looking to be voted by all means. But I understand that as a people, we are standing on the higher ground. And only those who can actually understand this whole idea of taking our city and our state, beyond where we are now, I think should be welcome to rule the state. But
don't you think you need the delegates? Now, you have not been around, like doing your flag off. One Imafidon like that represented you, spoke on your behalf. That means you weren't on ground. You've not been around, you just came in now. So how do you plan to navigate the delegate? Because you need their support to pass through the first stage, which is the primaries.
Very important. I'm not going to delude myself thinking I can just show up and everything. But I must say though, I have businesses in the States with a whole bunch of workers, right? So, and I have to, I'm always in consultation with all my workers. And I am constantly, like I said when I started this program, a lot of things that are innovative in this city, I can authoritatively say.
You don't need your workers, you don't need your staff to get through the primaries.
Yes, I'm coming. Right, I just, because sometimes I'm not looking to embellish what I'm trying to say, but at the same time, I want to give you context.
Please, go.
So what I'm saying is that, you see, during Obi, I was one of the, that is actually what's going on now. We have newcomers to the party, but before all of them, I was. And I basically created a platform for the party to engage. And as a result, we were able to get the party rolling. For the forces, the leadership of the party, they are well of this. And the relationship is, though at onset, but today I can honestly say to you that the people know me and I know them. I'm only trying to improve the relationship. And this is not about coming, others come to hijack the party, but I actually help bake the cake of Labour Party. So if you're talking about those who've actually baked this cake for Labour Party and not to be served to others and let the core members of the party benefit, I think I'm one of those.
But no doubt, Edo State, Benin City in particular, seems to be the headquarters of the obedient movement. If you take statistics of the turnout of the 2023 presidential election, we saw a fantastic outing from the obedient movement.
Turnout,
Now the question is, are you riding on the wings of the obedient movement if you felt you have contributed, you have spent your money to ensure that you have a movement, as it were? Are you now riding on that wing? Are you now saying you should be compensated for being part of those who brought the movement to Edo State? That's one. Then secondly, don't you think it's going to be a little bit tricky for you? You are from Edo South. And some people are saying, no, power should rotate to Edo Central. So these two questions put in one, how do we tackle it?
I guess I'll take the first one first. Not at all. Labour Party is, like I told you, is a party to beat in Edo State. The members of the party themselves understand that if we are cohesive and we are focused, you can't get rid of Labour Party. Because by and large in the state, whether you go to Edo North, Edo Central, and Edo South, the people themselves are fed up with business as usual. So this is trying to recreate the state and make the state marketable, and so the people elsewhere can come to our state and do business and open it up. So I think this is really the kind of platform we're looking to build. And I think it's possible because...
So not really riding on the wings of the obedient movement?
Obedient is, I think they're inseparable, because obedient movement is always going to be there, because you had a principle that understands governance, understands that you can't pay you cannot be buying a new car when you haven't paid your son or daughter's school fees. You have to do either. So
your biological son?
Yes,
talking
I do.
about your biological child now.
Your biology, even if it's an adopted child,
Okay.
Daniel.
Okay.
So my point is, you cannot. This is fiscal responsibility we're talking about. So you cannot decide you're going to buy a new car. You haven't paid your son's school fees. Do you have a
true.
child?
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. And this is the level, the kind of governance, what would be rightly called fiscal rascality in Nigeria. So we're looking for prudence. We are looking for pragmatism. We are looking for some people who understand that if you are in a ditch, you have to find a way out of it before you start throwing parties. So from inception, we've had a country where people have been so alienated from the electorate. They understand that, or maybe they think in their head that it's all about partying without actually doing. Fundamentally, we've missed our
So
way.
how do we mitigate the issue of power rotation to Edo State?
Okay, I was coming to that. I think, but first of all, Daniel, is unconstitutional, if you want to go by that. So, and I also think our brothers, like I went to Uromi. Do you understand Uromi is almost as big as Benin? I was shocked when I got there. So sometimes, you know, if anything, I just think that we as a people, we want anyone who can, have the best ideas. If you have a superior idea, better than mine, should be able to rule the state. Okay. I don't think the idea of zoning...
Irrespective of your senatorial district.
Irrespective, I think, because if you have a superior idea, and like I said, you know, it's all about being able to advance the state and make the state profitable, make the people in the state believe again. Because when I was growing up, we believed in the state, we believed in the country. But that's not so today.
Okay, now let's take it a little bit further. The issue of insecurity,
yes,
is an issue that has been age-long in Edo State. And just recently, about 6 young guys, their lives were taken just because of court activities. If given the opportunity to take over the baton of leadership in Edo State, Osadebe Avenue, to be precise, what will you do to take care of courtism?
I think that incident was really unfortunate. I happen to know the brother.
It's been happening.
It's a perennial issue. Yeah, it's a perennial issue, yeah. So this can be addressed. Seek out the parties involved, and then massively engage the youth program that I think we've had a number of youth programs. You have, like even the case of the hub, production hub and all of that. But I think, when you engage the youth, engage them meaningfully and gamefully, and I think they can ameliorate some of this issue. But again, let's not discount technology. Let's not discount, like ways that we can actually get to the heart of the issue. So once you look at the people themselves that are involved in all of this, you know, Daniel, I'm sorry, I keep coming to you.
Yeah, sure.
When I went to school, because of my height, people sought me out to join one of these court business. But because my parents kept telling me if I did, that they would die, you know, and I didn't want to kill them, you know, or send them to.
You don't want them to die.
Exactly. So, and I stayed away from it. So again, you know, you look at the homes. How do you bring succor to the homes and parenting? All of that. I mean, actually, there's a whole list. Many ways we can address the issue. But I can tell you that it's not a problem that is insurmountable in the state. We can address it, and we hit the ground running.
Transparency and accountability seems to be a bottleneck for those in power. Talk is cheap when they come on board like this. They tell us everything they will do, tell us how they will be giving accounts of how they spend things and over. But when they get to office, you don't hear from them again.
I know.
We don't even have access to them. I've had opportunity to interface with politicians, and when they get to office, they close the door against you. So how do you plan to reach out to the people, and how do you plan to operate an open door system?
I think, you know, last night I was just looking and hearing about the Taoism in China. They've been here. I mean, in recent memory, Chinese were coming to America to seek greener pasture. But see, in 1 or 2 decades, see how they transformed their lives. So I think that, you know, this has to, again, start from home. And then the MDGs, the United Nations brought this to our shores. At first, they were going to control all of this. And with their help, we're supposed to help reduce poverty, you know, and hunger in third world countries, you know, gender equality and all of that. They have a whole list of how, you know, this, again, is improving lives and how, you know, and global engagement through all of that. It's not just going to borrow money and then basically you are borrowing ahead of what you can ever do for your kids. So to answer your question, I do believe that the state is viable, and there's some of the things that are going on now that can create a continuum. So it's not everything that you have to come and so because people want to make money, and this is the kind of profiteering that's never really worked for anyone except for the politician. So this is now, I am not a greedy person. Those who know me can vouch for that. I don't need more than my means. I've lived in America for many years. I ride a bicycle where I'm at. It's only when I'm in Nigeria because of the nature of the roads and I drive cars. I've never had.
Why don't you try to ride bicycle around Edo State?
I have a bicycle, but the issue of insecurity and all the other things that have been talked about. So I don't have problem with it.
So
I play tennis.
If you're leaving, you need to leave it with me then. I'll keep it on your behalf.
That would be, of course, that would be great. I play tennis on a daily basis every now and then. So riding bicycles is amazing.
That's on a lighter note. Yes. All right, now let's see now. Now, how do you try to get the youth along? They are very, very important as far as government is concerned. So how do you try to bring the youth along?
You see,
what are your plans for them?
For the youth engagement. I mean, without the youth, you don't have nothing. So, and the projection is also that the youth by 2030, before now it's even 2050, they represent a larger part of our population, you know, compared to Europe or elsewhere, Asia and the rest of the, so if we cannot deal with the, you know, the most viable part of the segment of our population, we have nothing. So I think we'll start the youth engagement right away and get the people, again, skill building. And for those, we have Nollywood. I mean, Daniel, we are the most creative part, the most creative people. I can authoritatively say that in Nigeria. You see what I'm saying? This is,
understand. Yes, Edo State. So we have the likes of
exactly.
So many of them.
Thank you. So I mean, it's now we can monetize all of that. So when you start coming with these bogus ideas and people are saying, "Oh, how are you going to pay for this? How are you going to?" I mean, make this a creative hub, create an enabling environment where people can come and spend their money. We have a state that is endowed with a whole lot, with a rich history, and that is my background. And, you know, I mean, tourist boxes everywhere. So we will have a flourishing state. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, because for what, I'm very passionate about this part of it. And again, back to your question, I find it really ridiculous when you are like in your 50s, late 50s or 60s, and you still want to amass wealth. What for? And this is why they coined that phrase, primitive acquisition. People are still building houses or trying to. No, I mean, if God has helped
building houses, they don't need.
They don't need. I mean, this is really the bane of our issue.
They say that education is power.
Yes.
And for us in Edo State, we have some private, state-owned high institution. Ekuma University is there. We have also Poly. We have others. But the school fees seems to be on the high side.
Yes.
Very, very high. As a matter of fact, if you take a good look at the school fees compared with the federal institutions we have here, it's like that of the state seems to be on the higher side.
Prohibitive.
Yes. So how do we try to manage this?
Again, you know, like in international space, schools are able to generate funds by way of, you know, they can be engaged in a whole lot of, schools have, the Department of Agriculture can actually engage in, because they have the autonomy to do as much as they could. So, yeah, I mean, these are all the variables we can look at to generate funds without having to burden the people themselves, the parents. I think, yeah, if anything, I've always believed that our people are burdened and levied excessively. I mean, it shouldn't be that way.
And as we begin to wrap off now, because our time is not always our friend on the show, what message do you have for delegates? Because to an extent, it seems they are the bride of the moment now. Every politician or every aspirant is galvanizing around them. So what message do you have to the delegates and to Edo people by extension?
I just want to say our delegates are friends. Some of them know me, and those who haven't met me, I hope to meet very soon. And I think they understand the issues. You know, we cannot corrupt the process because we've all submitted to the process. And anyone who wants to hinder the process by way of inducement, it doesn't really go well for the party. Understand what this party represents. You know, if you look at the preamble of Labour Party, say, we the people, based on urgent need. because they're trying to get away from the two entrenched parties, the APC and PDP, the regulars, exactly. Because you are control. The goal is to control means of production, make life easy and better for the people. So if Labour Party is going to go the way of the regular parties that I've just mentioned, then we have nothing. Then it's not, also, I just want to say quickly that if the delegates, and I trust that they do the right thing, because if you risk alienating the voters themselves, it comes back to why you say, oh, why do you think Labour will win? Labour can only win this election if they choose widely and have a candidate that understands the issue, that is also with the people, because it's all about giving power to the people. Okay. If the people are not there with you, then we'll lose the election.
So let's have a one-off response from you. If you get the ticket,
yes,
do you think Labour Party can scale through when you have APC? Don't forget we have Federal Might.
Yes.
They are the current the current party in power.
Yes.
So don't you think Federal Might is going to play out? No. And for the PDP, the incumbent governor won't want to take it lightly with other political parties. Do you think Labour Party will go anywhere? Where do you see Labour Party?
I mean, Daniel, you've just given me two hypotheses. And based on those two hypotheses, this is how, if my own permutation, this is why Labour will take the day. Because PDP is going to be at the throat of your so-called Federal Might, and Federal Might is going to want to be at the throat of the PDP. And the people themselves, the people are neither... So
on whose throat will you now be?
It will be, you've heard the expression where 12 elephants fight, the grass suffers.
So you face the grasses.
Exactly. So PDP is going to sail home free, especially if I'm their candidate.
PDP will sail home free?
I mean, I'm sorry. Okay. Labour Party will sail through when PDP and APC have issues.
Okay, thank you so much, Authority. This is how far we can go. It's a pleasure having you, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations in advance. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Well, this is how far we can go on the program Road to Edo 2024. We'd like to see you on the next one. That should be on Friday. My name is Daniel Praise. Ose Debame. Do have yourself a blessed evening ahead, and bye for now.
Thank you.